Look at what's out here.
What up, guys? Yeah, come on in. Don't be shy. Jeffrey, you're late again. I'll wait. Just kidding. Come on, wake up. I go to bed at like 9:30. I really do. No, PM. I really highly encourage you guys to like raise your hand and ask me a question. There's really not many opportunities for me to be able to like be in a group with you guys and like be intimate, pause, and like talk about what you want to talk about.
Would you recommend we don't like how would you, is it going to be harder to get somebody to sing on that song later after we've released it?
Not necessarily, depends on who it is, but most times if you release a song, like let's say you put a song out on SoundCloud and it gets like 15,000 streams or something, that's still not enough for the person who wants to use it for that to be a big deal.
Okay.
You know, I've seen it happen, like a song will be on SoundCloud and have like 80,000 streams and they'll still be like, yeah, we still want to use it, like take it down, we'll buy it. And so yeah, it's pretty much open playing field. I like to do with songwriters is I'll have them just like go in there and I'll record for 4 minutes, like I'll have the beat loaded up for 4 minutes and they'll go in there and just start laying melodies down, boom boom boom, and then we'll do that like 5 to 10 times. And then after we get like 10 takes of gibberish and just melodies, I'll go back and I'll start vocal comping. So I'll just start pulling all of my favorite parts. Cool, that could be a pre-hook, that could be a verse, this, we could put this as a hook maybe. And then I'll have all the pieces I like in the vocals from all 10 takes, and then I'll start piecing the song. Like, okay, this is our intro, this is our first verse, second verse, boom, boom, boom. And then once we're happy with like a skeleton of vocal melodies, then we'll work together on a concept, some lyrics. Miguel, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
SZA too.
SZA.
What 808 was that? What?
Oh, some shit I had, yeah.
Search through the BLAP-KITS.
This is a little shot I had on my hard drive. Plain and simple guide to music publishing. You can take a picture too, you know what I'm saying? Another good book is All You Need to Know About the Music Industry, Donald Passman. What's up?
Is it true that Travis gave away 100% of his publishing for an upfront deal?
I don't know, but people do that.
What's the advantage?
Of getting like a major pub deal?
Well,
that's an example of like an all-in publishing deal. Most producers and writers who take those types of deals are the ones who really need the cash. So most people that take that deal are because they really like need the money up front. There's these other deals called administrative deals where a smaller company like a Cobalt will say, okay, you got this placement, let's do a deal where we collect the publishing for you. We'll take like a small percent, like 5%, but you retain 100% ownership. So that's what I didn't add to the Sony deal. The major deal is they usually retain 100% of the ownership. So they also take ownership. So they get to eat off of it forever. And then after you fulfill the deal with them, there's a sunset clause. So then they'll be like, okay, for 12 months later, we'll bump down to 80%. And then another year later, we're down to 60 and the sunset's down, so they still get to collect.
Quick question. So back to the Kendrick Rihanna thing. So say in this publishing deal, 5 songs, can you sub-produce for anything outside of that? Or
yeah, you
make, so basically as a producer, maybe take up other revenues.
Oh yeah.
To get your money.
As long as in the contract they're only entitled to your publishing, that's fine. Yeah, they're in the business of publishing. They're not, publishing companies aren't coming in doing 360s and stuff like that. So they just care about your publishing. Yeah.
You have to have like a strong following to, you know, approach these publishing companies.
Yeah, well, it's less of a following and more of your publishing value. So the more placements you have, the more stuff you have out there, they're gonna do an analysis and they're gonna check, you know, depending on which PRO you're assigned to. PRO is a performing rights organization, so that's ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC in America. and then in Canada it's SOCAN. Every country has their own publishing entity. So you guys should all be signed up. And if you're not, you should sign up like when you go home. ASCAP or BMI, I would recommend. So once you become a part of a PRO, all of your shit is in a database. You know, it's all in a database. Everything you produce, you have to manually upload and enter your percentages and all that stuff. Once that's in there, the publishing company, let's say they want to offer you a deal or you inquire with them, they're going to check to see, okay, what PRO are you with? Oh, you're with BMI? Cool. They're going to go in the database and they're going to see what you produced, what percentages you have, what your worth is, and then they'll determine based on that if it's worth to do a deal with you.
Is there someone that you could bring onto your team that could actually raise your publishing value?
Yes and no. I think indirectly. I think the publishing value is really, it really just always goes back to how much stuff you have out there. Whether you're on like, you know, 15 independent albums that all sold between 5,000 and 20,000 units each, or maybe you have like a random song you produced that is charting on Spotify. You know, anything that helps you as a producer or a writer to increase your publishing value as much as possible, that person would be valuable. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Pretty like fucked up, but like cool, right? Yeah. I can hear that being placed in like Adult Swim, like Adult Swim bump, like yeah, like watching Space Ghost at 3 in the morning, and then it's like the bump comes on. So you could do some creative stuff. I think there's a number of things you can do. You could start branding yourself on like SoundCloud, start gaining like a little like a following with like your sound. You can start targeting like licensing companies and start like getting your stuff licensed, like shows and stuff like that. What do you use?
FL Studio.
FL?
Yeah.
Try stemming all of your stuff out and then importing it into like Pro Tools, and then try to watch tutorials and mess with Pro Tools and figure out like the balancing, because a lot of it is like volume, right, and like dynamic, you know, so you just got to kind of get your feet wet and start trying stuff, get your hands dirty. Photographer and doing cinematography and stuff like kind of influences the type of music you make too. Yeah, that's great. So once you get to that level, you can start attaching visuals to your audio.
Trying to get placements, how do you kind of recommend?
Like licensing and stuff? So there's this company, you guys should write it down if you're interested in this. There's a company called Jingle Punks. Jingle like jingle bells, and then punks like, you know, punks. Okay. So jinglepunks.com, it's one of many companies that sort of act like a buffer to collect beats from producers and then shop them to, you know, TV, film placement. I believe it's free to join. There might be like a small fee, but that's a really cool website to start with. You can just start uploading your tracks, make sure your stuff is like non-sampled, and just start creating a database up there and seeing if you can get someone to bite down. They have some good connections out there, so I've heard good stories about them, so that's worth a try, yeah. But the thing with licensing music to TV and film, the key to that stuff is building a relationship with the music supervisor who's in control of the music. Like one example is, have you guys watched that show on HBO, Insecure? Absolutely. Raise your hand if you do.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. It's not as popping as they say it is, huh? I love that show. So anyway, this guy Keir Lehman is the music soup for that show, and they're known for like having really good music. So he's like the guy that you have to go to pitch your music and build a relationship with, stuff like that. So most of these guys are just like one music supervisor who collects the music, and it works that way. So amazing. Thank you so much for hosting us.
Money side?
Yeah, super awesome. I love it. We got a collective of talent in here. You guys should definitely keep in touch with each other though, for sure. Like, we'll get the chat room popping and just, you know,